In this video, we're going to cover how to tune the guitar. And if I'm playing Captain Obvious, if it's not in tune, it's not going to sound right. Tuning just means that we want each string to sound a certain way before we start playing. And for that, we're going to use a clip-on multi-instrument tuner like this Boss TU-02 because tuners like these, they're super common and they're cheap. If you have one of the Snark tuners, like I mentioned in the first course video, perfect. It works just like the Boss tuner except a little less complicated, and you'll see why later in this video. There are a lot of different tuners out there, but most do the same basic function. So even if you don't have one like this, you should still be able to follow along. Also, any average electric or acoustic guitar is going to work with a tuner like this. If you don't have a tuner and you're looking for one, you could check out the gear page on my website, Amazon, or Guitar Center. And they'll be about $15 to $30 typically, usually depending on the brand. Now to use the tuner, we should at least have a basic understanding of the musical alphabet, which we're going to talk about briefly now. Looking at a piano is the easiest way to visualize and explain it. And if you want this PDF to follow along, you can download it on the website for free. So all of these black and white keys are called notes, and each note has a name. Those names form the musical alphabet. In the simplest terms possible, we name them from A to G, with some having middle names to create a 12-name pattern. When we reach the end, we repeat that pattern. The middle names are the black keys. They actually have two names. They can be called sharps or flats. Which one you call it depends on the context of what you're playing, which is unimportant right now. Just know that they each have two names, and depending on the tuner, it may call them by either of those names. For now, you can think sharp to the right and flat to the left. For example, this black key is between G and A. It is to the right of G, making it G sharp, and to the left of A, making it A flat. So this black key is G sharp or A flat. The one other thing to note here is that there is no black key between B and C or E and F. Now where the guitar comes in is, we need to make each string match a certain note on the piano, and that's why it's important to have a basic understanding of this, even if it's still a little confusing, because we're going to use this alphabet to tune the guitar. What we want is called standard tuning, which is using the notes E, A, D, G, B, and E for the guitar strings. And an easy way to remember that is to use the sentence, every apple does go bad eventually. This sentence starts from the fattest string and goes down to the skinniest string. E, A, D, G, B, E. Every apple does go bad eventually. Looking back at the PDF, we want the strings to sound like those same notes on the piano. E, A, D, G, B, and E. So we're going to use the tuner to help us match the strings to those notes. Now that we understand the musical alphabet a bit, let's tune the guitar. I have the tuner clipped to the headstock. Doesn't really matter where, as long as I can see it clearly. When I turn it on, in the corner it says 440 Hz for Hertz. Not all tuners have this on them, but if yours does, you want it set to 440. And in the other corner, it currently says G, but I want it set to C, so I'm going to change it to that. As a multi-instrument tuner, it gives me the options of C, G, B, V, and U, which stands for chromatic, guitar, bass, violin, and ukulele. Now you would think that we're going to use the G for guitar setting, like it's obvious, right? But we're actually going to use the C for chromatic setting. It's going to be more useful to know and just better in the long run, especially when it comes to different tunings. The difference is that with the guitar setting, the tuner is going to be looking for a specific string, and it can get confusing trying to find the right one. With the chromatic setting, the tuner is going to tell me what note the string is currently on, and then I can tune it from there. And remember I mentioned that Snark tuner earlier? So these come as a chromatic tuner, so there's no toggling and there's less on-screen stuff for confusion. We're going to start by tuning the E string at the top. When I hit the string, I'll let it vibrate for a second so that the tuner can read the vibrations well and give me a more accurate reading. Right now it's telling me it's on E. dancing around the green line in the middle actually, which means it's right near the note. Now you would think this is what I want, I'm at E, but you can hear how loose the string is when I hit it. Because I'm actually at the wrong E. You have to remember that the alphabet goes in a circle and repeats itself in a pattern. So what I need to do is, I need to tighten the string to the next E in the pattern. I'm going to twist the tuning machine to the left slowly as I keep hitting the string. Just not rapidly because it can be hard for the tuner to read then. This is going to tighten the string and push it further forward in the alphabet. Now the tuner is going to go in circles, yellow to green to red, then back to yellow with the next letter in the alphabet, including those sharps and flats. Which one it says depends on your tuner. And at first the tuner might jump around a bit with letters and colors, but that's just because the string is still loose. As I tighten it, it'll be more consistent and clearer. See it jump from G sharp to B flat to A, then back to B flat for a second. That's normal. It just needs to be tighter to get a solid reading. See, like now that it's a little tighter, it's sticking to one letter at a time longer. Though do take note that some tuners, like the Snark, may reverse the color pattern, so like red to green to yellow, or don't use colors at all, but they always go left to right when tightening the string. So we're at E flat here, though your tuner may say D sharp, but we're hitting E next. Now that I'm at E, note not E flat, I need to line it up to the green in the middle, which will mean that I'm right on the note. I accidentally went past it and I'm in the red area now, so I need to twist to the right to loosen it and get back to that green. Had I kept going, I would have ended up at the next note, F. And here I am on E in the green, meaning I'm in tune. But that's all that we're doing. We're just twisting the tuning machine to tighten or loosen the string so that we can match it to the note that we want. So now I'm going to move on to the A string, and then I'm going to tune the rest of the strings one after the other. So I'm at E flat here. I need to tighten and raise this up to A to get this string in tune. Since I have a bit of a distance to go, I'm going to tighten it a little faster. As I get closer, I'm going to slow down to fine tune it and get it on the green in the center. Now I'll move on to the D string. It's actually telling me E, which is just past D in the alphabet, and the string already sounds tight. It's a long way to the following D note, so that tells me the string already is too tight and I actually need to loosen it instead of tighten to get the D note that I want. So I'll loosen past E flat to go backwards down the alphabet to D, since this D note is closer. Now that I have the D string tuned, I will move on to the G. Coincidentally enough, the G is near the D note. G is a few letters higher, so I'm going to tighten this one. Then I'll move on to the B string. Right now it's at C sharp, which is past the closest B, so I'm going to loosen the string down to B. Then last we have another E string, which is also close to C sharp. However, I want the closest E, which is after C sharp, so I'm going to tighten this one. I'll just keep going. And there we are. And after you're done, your string should sound like this. If you have brand new strings, do know that they do go out of tune quickly because they need time to stretch and to just settle in. So don't be surprised if you tune them and then after even just a minute of playing, they're out of tune. They can take up to a few days of tuning them again and again until they really just settle in and stay in tune. Whether your strings are new or not, you should be checking that they're in tune every day or two when you pick the guitar up. With a little practice, you'll be really fast at it. In the next course video, we're going to learn how to read tabs with some short songs we're going to play, and we're also going to learn some exercises that are going to help us get more comfortable with playing. So once you have the guitar in tune, you can head there.